it's obvious that most of you seniors have not picked up your instruments since March 12th. However, I still have awards for some of you. The following 14 musicians are recipients of the Earl Higgins Instrumentalist Award. The music you are hearing is you playing at last year's winter concert. Throughout this video, you will be hearing your performances from the past 2 years of concerts at North High. You know, I'm really going to miss these seniors, figuring that there are 180 days in the school year, and you've spent at the very least 40 minutes every day for 4 years. Even with the quarantine since March 12th, that's over 450 hours. Room 218 ain't going to be the same without you. Earl Higgins was my predecessor, who was the maestro of the North for the 25 years before I got here. Earl Higgins and Dr. William Shine are the ones who convinced me to leave Stuyvesant High School to come to Great Neck North. These two men, Earl Higgins, now 83 years old, and Bill Shine, now 92 years old, they continue to inspire me to find new ways to engage my students. The following students have earned the Earl Higgins Instrumentalist Award for their dedication to instrumental study and performance. Kelly Chow, I thank you for making that great introduction for the commencement orchestra and explanation of what a maggot is to everyone in the drive-in parking lot that night. And you did a great job of putting together the video for commencement. Ariella Cohen is one of the sweetest students ever to appear in room 218. Ariella, you were always so patient with me when I was not so patient with you. You will go far. Keep practicing the viola and the piano. Isabella Diani, your leadership and prodigious poise gave those 9th graders something to really look up to. I will keep trying to find a way for you to come back to North High to play your Beethoven Piano Concerto with our high school orchestra, whether it's on the stage or back in room 218. Annette Hopkins, we were so lucky that you came back to our orchestra class in your senior year so that you got to play with us at Carnegie Hall. You are one of the kindest persons ever to play music in room 218. You are a flower among some weeds. Esther Huang, you are one of the most generous and considerate persons I know. I save all your cards and gifts and always treasure the gift and your viola playing in our chamber ensembles and orchestra. And thank you for keeping Mark from being tempted by magnetism. Olivia Liu, I'm so glad you got to play with us at Carnegie Hall, and thank you for always playing the oboe, soprano, or trumpet parts and never complaining. Keep playing your flute. You have so many more notes to play. Christopher Matos Sueros, I'll never forget how you succeeded in getting us Leonard Bernstein's score and parts so we could play the whole Shostakovich Symphony No. 5. And you finally learned how to practice this year. You are a violist. Keep practicing. Yaron Nasir, you really came through on that saxophone. I had my doubts, but you became an awesome musician. I'm so sorry you didn't get to play the Shostakovich Jazz Waltz with us at Art Fest, but keep practicing. The Salutatorium, Judah, you should also get an award for listening to WQXR Classical Countdown. I'm going to expect you to let me know that you're listening again when we ring in 2021. Josh Oken, I'm so proud of you keeping up the cello club and helping all those young players. Your dedication to practicing the most difficult passages in the repertoire has been an inspiration to many, especially me. Sally Soccer, you have continued the Soccer family tradition of making the violin, chamber music, and orchestral music a top priority. In most high schools, you would be the concertmaster, and we're so lucky that you always acted like a concertmaster. I never caught you talking in class like certain other concertmasters. We're all going to miss your endearing smile. Kaming Zhang, you always cracked me up. You started out on the saxophone, then you inspired a whole new generation of oboists when you took up that instrument. Your greatest legacy is that we have an oboe section after you leave us. Yushan Zhang, thank you for practicing so hard, being so modest, and always playing those oboe, soprano, and trumpet parts on the flute without complaining. The final Earl Higgins Award goes to Isabel Hadassi. This school was so lucky that you left Port Washington to join us. You play the flute, The piccolo, you act, you sing, you conduct, you try to play the accordion. Port Washington's tremendous loss was our awesome gain. The John Philip Sousa Symphonic Band Award goes to Brandon Chen. The band, the orchestra, the Chamber Music Society, the Friday Lobby Music Ensemble, the chorus and I are so grateful for your return and enthusiasm. Even though you missed 1 year, you still racked up enough hours in your senior year by spending more time in room 218 than most all the other seniors. Thank you for standing up on the chair to play To Life without falling down and getting hurt last year at commencement. The Frederick Chopin Award goes to Vera Cho. Thank you, Vera, for coming back to our orchestra in your senior year and being so patient with the small piano parts you got stuck with. Your Handel and Shostakovich piano solos at Carnegie Hall are still hanging in the air there, like all of our droplets. I hope you return to North High to play a piano concerto with our orchestra, whether on another concerto night or just in room 218. Eugene Boosola was a legendary musician and teacher. He played his trombone in every presidential inauguration from Truman to George W. Bush. He also taught 6 generations of brass players that attended the Great Neck Public Schools. He was also my own children's private teacher. The North Shore Community Arts Council Eugene Boosola Award is a very special one, dear to me. It is an honor to present it to our brass man, Sean Eliassi, and you were also a phenomenal peer leader to our advisory this year. Why the viola section is my favorite. I love all my students, just not equally. Once I started teaching high school orchestra, I noticed how the students in the viola section were so much more closely knit and less competitive than they were in every other section in the orchestra or band. The most memorable viola section I recall is the one with Gabrielle Aiuto and Janelle Taney, from 1999 to 2005. When Janelle played her senior concerto by Telemann at Artfest 2003, she was actually too weak from her illness to make a big solo sound. At the concert, Janelle invited her sister Marisa and her friend Gabrielle to play the solo with her. After Janelle and Gabrielle graduated, the section was led by Marisa Taney, later by Julie Hirsch, and then Juliana Taney. They all kept up the tradition that the North High Viola section was, and still is, a closely knit group who care about each other and the music more than anything else. With the grace and approval of the Taney family, we have created a new Senior Music Department Award, the Taney Violist Award, for the most devoted senior violist of the orchestra. This year's Taney Violist Award goes to a violist whose devotion to the viola, chamber music, and orchestral music is unmatched. I'll never forget what his big sister said one day after hearing him practicing the night before. "I can't believe my brother can play the viola." I heard you practicing in room 218 so much this year that you did become a remarkable violist. The Taney Violist Award goes to remarkable Mark Zhu. 2 of the 3 National School Orchestral Association Awards go to 2 outstanding violinists who talk a lot in class, but they still were tremendous role models. Once again, Matthew Zhu comes from a remarkably talented family. Matthew's musicianship can only be matched by his culinary skills. Congratulations, Matthew, for being one of the recipients of the NSOA Award. Some of you may wonder how Rutkowski manages to text every one of you on your birthday. Here's my secret. When Adam Sue was a sophomore, he was always hanging out in room 218 asking what he could do to help this old man. One day I asked him if he could spend the whole year going through my list of 180 students to help me put their birthdays in my iCalendar. Now I only need to add 50 or so new freshmen every year. That I can do myself. Thank you, Adam, for helping me recognize my students' birthdays, and congratulations for being one of the recipients of the NSOA Award. When Emma Sazuni was a freshman, I wanted her to know that there was another fabulous female trumpeter named Allison Balsam. I told Emma that she should start practicing the Haydn Trumpet Concerto. A few weeks later, Mrs. Rutkowski and I were listening to WQXR one evening, and we heard Allison Balsam playing the Haydn Trumpet Concerto. I texted Emma, "Emma, Allison Balsam is on the QXR right now. This is the concerto I want you to play at the concerto concert when you're a senior." Mrs. Rutkowski then scolded me. "Why are you getting that girl's hopes up? You know that you'll be retired before she graduates. How do you know if the new orchestra teacher will let her play the Haydn Concerto?" I felt like a heel until I decided to put off retirement so I could keep my promise. Then this pandemic happened. Emma, I will do everything I can to have a separate concerto concert in June 2021 to invite you and the other musicians of 2020 to play your concertos. One of the North Shore Community Arts Council Awards in Music goes to Emma Sassooni, but Emma is also the recipient of the Louis Armstrong Jazz Award. Maddie Yang, what can I say? You are the heart and soul of this music program. A great leader, an astonishing personality, and one of the greatest flutists ever to play anywhere. After our Carnegie concert, my son, the music major, said to me, "Dad, where'd you get that flute player?" after hearing your Shostakovich solo. There will be a tremendous hole now that you have graduated. The North Shore Community Arts Council Award in Music and the Niskayne Leadership Award go to Maddie Yang. Daniel Zhang has spent more hours in room 218 than any other student. Always in chamber music at 7:20 in the morning, always after school orchestra every day, and some semesters being registered for symphony orchestra and concert orchestra. Our concertmaster has spent 3 of his 4 years in the 9th grade orchestra class. Maybe that's why we have such a great violin section that he's leaving us. I wish everyone else could see all those freshman violinists lining up to get their instruments tuned by Daniel, just to get close enough for his talent to influence theirs. I usually save the Bruce Thompson Award for the student I will miss the most. But Daniel Zhang has been so quiet for the past 4 years, all I have to do is make a life-size cutout of him and keep him in room 218. And I won't have to miss him at all. Daniel also gets the 3rd National School Orchestral Association Award. You should all be receiving, if not already, a copy of one of these 2 books by music scholar Alex Ross. Neither of them is easy reading, but you all deserve this opportunity to bring your musicianship to a higher level by reading one of the books at some point in your life. These senior musicians will also be so important to this old teacher for the rest of his life. I'm sorry that I was restricted to giving out only 23 awards this year. I do want to say something about these 8 remarkable students. Ami Ajikapol contributed so much to our department website and chapter of the year applications. Your artistry as a figure skater has and will continue to inspire thousands of your admirers. Your violin playing made our orchestra sound better. Wellington Chen gave me a run for my money. You kept me on my toes, and I hope it made me a better teacher, even if I was kicking and screaming most of the time. Your devotion to the cello and music blossomed in the last year, and I will always remember that. Keep playing, Wellington. Gabrielle Kang, I am so glad you entered the band before you graduated. Your piano playing and rock drumming videos are what I will remember most. Thank you for trying so hard in class. Clarence Luo, I will always remember that you had your whole extended family rearrange an important celebration just so you could play at our concert. And I'm so glad you got to play with us at Carnegie Hall. Nora Monashiri, your devotion to music, room 218, and driving me more insane will be a cherished memory. Thank you for telling me to make videos because you missed me. Caroline Pizer, another figure skater who will inspire thousands of your admirers. Thank you for practicing so hard for all those NYSSMA festivals you participated at. Jordan Pizer, I can't think of too many students who drove me so crazy, but it was worth it. Your dedication to the trumpet was impressive, but your devotion might be the biggest surprise of my 44-year teaching career. Daria Skolnick, was that your own quote in the yearbook? You always crack me up, even though I did my best to hide it. I'm so grateful that you stayed in class for all 4 years. I never thought that was possible. But thanks to Dr. Krause for keeping us both from doing things that we might have regretted later. Keep playing your cello. Musicians, you have made this year a forever unforgettable one for your classmates, your parents, our school, and me. I have a copy of this year's yearbook, so if you want me to send it to you, if you want me to send to you what I would have written in your yearbook, send me something you want me to write in my yearbook, and I'll return the favor. Stay safe, stay healthy, and keep listening to great music. And please audition for the wind ensemble or orchestra in the college that you have chosen to attend, and practice those long tones and scales every once in a while.